We're back, and for the final time for our CCL qualifier. So far, 2 teams have qualified. Aerial Arise, Team Mystic Academy. Tonight, we'll decide who goes in last. We have Catlaugh versus Sonic Boom. It's Terra versus a bunch of Canadians that I've never... Their names are weird. This is going to be tough. But I'm Jazzman. This is Corbeck, and this is our final match.
It is our final match. Yeah, both of these teams obviously in the losers bracket. They were put down here. I think Catlaugh got taken out by Aerial Arise, and then Sonic Boom. That was the first rounders who hit Newt Neuters over there and took him to overtime before they were sent down. So not a bad performance, I think, from either of these sides. Catlaugh, I think, got into the second round before they hit Aerial Arise as well. And you know they're fighting their way back to the losers bracket. So you know it's going to be good. It's a fight now. It really is a desperate fight for your life down here. But we can take a look at those quick rosters here. Some of those names that you don't necessarily know how to pronounce. I think we have the rosters, maybe not. There we go. The quick flip over there. But yeah, so any insight into these two squads you might have for us here, my good man?
So on the side of Sonic Boom, I'm going to assume that that's Chihiro, Trek, and Zach, Arctics, Yes I Cheat, and Spree. So Spree is written down as the substitute for Sonic Boom, so a little thing of note there. And then Catlaugh. Oh boy, Catlaugh. We got Terra, we got Hitman, we got Seb, Lioness, and Panic. So you have 2, technically 3 CL experienced players on that team, Seb being a manager, but Hitman and Panic both having been or in currently CL. And then you have Linus and Terra, 2 Project Eris players. Terra is my mom, technically. And also, just in general, I think you have a lot of more named persons on this roster. A lot of people that'll be recognized, not necessarily for their skill, as I learned the hard way when I play unranked with them, but with the fact that they're just out there a lot. Terra tweets a lot. UB support Terra. But anyway, yeah. Honestly, a lot of skill on the side of Catlaugh, I will say. Like I said, Hitman in CL, Hitman having been in CL and Panic in CL. So a tough challenge here possibly for Sonic Boom.
Yeah, certainly, I think that is in the offing. I mean, I've heard some of the names of Sonic Boom as well before, right? Spree, Chihiro. These are people that I've heard of. But let's take a look at map vetoes really quick, get an idea of where we will end up here for our last map of the night. And it might not be exactly what you like. Bank actually we in the pool now, taken out, unfortunately second. It's brief but glorious resurgence there, cut short, and it will be Oregon back to the sunny hills of Oregon there, or whatever that is, the sunny doomsday compound of Oregon, for our final match of the night, I guess. Oh well, we've been here before, Jazz, so it's well-trod ground. We know what to expect.
Unfortunately, we know what to expect. I absolutely hate this map, and casting it over and over again makes me want to rip my eyes out and melt them. And then drink them like eggs. But regardless, I mean...
That would be impressive, by the way, if you didn't have any eyes. That you were able to do all that after and during the pain. You also melt them.
You know that if you could actually melt your eyes, like your eyes can physically melt. That's not just like a...
That doesn't surprise me.
It's really cool.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Not really, but like...
That's horrifying.
I mean, it's cool to know if you guys ever want to melt eyes, which you shouldn't. But anyway.
No. Let's not advocate. Just the more you know, right? And knowing is half the battle. Let's just leave it at that.
But yeah, Oregon, like you said, I mean, it's just we've been here many, many times before. We saw it earlier in the stream as well. And I think you're going to be expecting the exact same thing. I mean, you have a team that isn't established. They're a Pugsack, and I know that for certain. And then you have a team that has a little bit of unknowns. That being on the side of Sonic Boom. I really don't know many of these players in Sonic Boom. They could be an established team or not. Definitely on the side of Catlaugh, you got a bit of a pug stack going on. And I think it's perfect for Oregon, but unfortunately, Oregon is just not perfect. Anyway, we'll be moving into the map here. Sonic Boom will start out in the attack with Catlaugh on defense, and our bands will progress shortly. I'm interested to see what will happen here, because honestly, Catlaugh definitely have the space to whip out some interesting bands.
You know, we did see that Sophia ban that came out earlier here on this map, which was a little out of pocket. Not the most common ban I think we necessarily see, but Thatcher going first, I don't think that's going to particularly shock anyone, especially when the defenders have the first ban. You don't want to deal with the Thatcher, though. I think I agree that there are times when Thatcher maybe is just a little bit of a like unnecessary ban. He's not as good as you think he is, but he's still a pain to play against no matter what. I'm curious to see what Sonic Boom is going to essentially deprive themselves with in terms of their toolbox box right off the gate here. They thought about this. This taking some time, but it'd be Flores who goes. I think that's a perfectly valid choice. We saw a Flores wielded very effectively earlier on when we casted this map by Aerial Arise, so not surprised at all to see him taken off the board. Over on the defensive side, probably going to be a Valkyrie would be the band that I would pick, or a Mira or a Kaid, right? Those are the three who I think generally tend to stack up towards the top of the pile here, and it will be Mira who goes, which leaves us probably with the inevitable Valkyrie band, though if Catlaugh wanted to give themselves a bit of an edge on their defensive rounds, Jazz, they could hold on to that.
Yeah, the Mira band, I mean, I definitely think Valkyrie is just gonna be banned. I don't know if Hitman or Panic do play Valkyrie. I feel like one of them does, so maybe you could leave it. Maybe even like my ban here, Kaid ban also works out. So the Valkyrie is up, and I'm not sure who is gonna be the one running it. Effective on Oregon in many places, ineffective on many as well. There's a nice balance you're gonna have to strike there on Valkyrie, but definitely want to kind of roll back on the Flores ban there. I mean, it's quite the tough ban if you are Sonic Boom, if you are on the attack, because you just can't work with any drones. You're gonna have to force the burn. You're gonna have to force the nades and the Gone Sixes and all that. And it can be tough sometimes. Sometimes your ADSs just simply hold down the flashbangs, and sometimes nades miss. I mean, it's not as fluent as a simple Flores drone always is. A Flores drone just goes in and it takes out if it's not shot. Nades, they can be rough, but regardless, I mean, it's also not a very irregular ban. Flores is a very powerful operator, after all.
Yeah, it's also going to enable a little bit, I think, the selection of operators like Wamai perhaps above a Mute, but interestingly enough, we will actually see a Mute coming out here on round number 1. I don't necessarily know if that's needed, truth be told. I mean, he's a good getting some love in the chat there, brother. Look at that. That's nice. It's a self-esteem builder. You missed it. I can't even believe you missed it. Tara said that she loved you in the chat. I love you, Jazz, man. It was poignant.
I legally have to oblige. Yeah.
But the Mute band is an interesting bit of it, or the Mute selection, I'm sorry, is a little bit of an interesting choice right here in favor of the Goyo. I mean, you take away your Volcon, so you get a little bit less shielding. Meanwhile, too, I like the Buck coming in here on the side of Sonic Boom. It's a pretty solid pick, I guess. Give him a little bit of clear for the soft cover. And the Jackal coming out as well. I mean, you did make a good point, right? You don't necessarily need the Jackal. I would have almost been tempted to take an IQ maybe in the place of the Jackal just to help with those black eye cameras. But again, I don't think that's neither of them are necessary must pick operator choices.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting. Well, I mean, you found the counter to your drones. It's an aggressive start here from both sides here. It's both Yes I Cheat, interesting name there, and Hitman. Artix and Hitman both go down here. Hitman is traded out after he secures his frag. I'm not really sure what the big deal with that one was. The Twitch does go down, and I mean, you have a mute, so I guess I don't know. This is a confusing engagement. I don't feel like much was gained from either side, to be honest. But Shahiro's going to get himself inside of Z, and Spree's going to be able to allow himself inside of Tower as well. You have a Maverick on the board, but you also have to keep in mind that is your only form of hard breach, which can be really difficult, especially if you want to go for some sort of bunker take. I didn't even see that coming. That actually scared the living hell out of me. As it is going to be Chihiro nearly swung and taken out here. Track and Zach will get the main hatch open with hard breach charges, and I just feel like I feel like I just seen a ghost. Seb just swung and then left. He's gone. He's like a specter in the wind.
I'm still trying to figure out if I actually saw it or if it was something weird. Like I swear to God, I saw a Rudy come out of that doorway, but there were no gun, there's no fire. It just appeared and then disappeared. By the way, Spree being an absolute nuisance right now with this Jackal, basically hard forcing the control of Freezer right here with that operator. Lioness is forced to back up very tight into a corner right here and kind of hold out as Yes I Cheat now still covering this angle down from the laundry room. Slowly but surely, Sonic Boom building up the map control they need, the angles they want to cover before they begin their final execute. And slowly but surely, Catlaugh is kind of coalescing here, though Terra on a bit of a runaround there on the outside edge, maybe moving into a position where they can help contest those big tower stairs should it become necessary, but not a lot of focus on that side as the Gemini goes in there for a quick scout.
Needs here from Chihiro as he thinks one is still inside a pillar, and that is correct. Terra is also inside a bunker. They have to remember that bunker has not been taken at all, not even contested by Sonic Boom. It's an ill-advised drop into E-Box, and it will be met with a crucial amount of frags. It's just down to Track and Zack, and yes, I cheat, and unfortunately Lioness has the pre-fire ready, and she also has Case in her hands. It's just down to the Yana of E-Box. He gets one kill, but Seb will be there to meet them. Catlaugh will secure their first round there. A very aggressive round and with a really interesting start. I kind of blinked and then all of a sudden 2 people were dead. But regardless, Catlaugh did take advantage of that. And yeah, Sonic Boom really just didn't seem like they knew what they had control of. And they were a little bit aggressive. Also just kind of played 1v1s for no reason. And it will be Catlaugh to take advantage of that.
It's a strange round, I think, in a lot of ways. Just a kind of some awkward decision making. I mean, you think about that drop in E-Box hatch, and you mentioned it at the time that it was kind of ill-advised, and it certainly was. I mean, why was Elbow not taken into account in any of the offensive preparations? They were looking very methodical in the way that they were sweeping that top floor and slowly, but gaining their control that they needed to execute, and then they just drop in. They don't even think about one of the most common defensive spots that you definitely know there's somebody there, right? Because you have the smoke on the board. They're not going to bring the smoke unless they're going to set him up on Elbow. Really very strange. But Seb now on the Capkin. Capkin again making an appearance here for the second time on this particular map, and we'll see what value he gets out of that. I also like that Capkin trap spot there on the closet. If people aren't particularly attentive, they can kind of get caught off guard if they feel the need to come in there to challenge, but most teams will pick up on that, I think. I appreciate too that they're bringing a Mozzie along instead of a Mute. I think that the more flexible kind of anti-drone operator is going to help them a little bit in this setup. And also you're going for just a true kind of stationary hard breach denial here. Without the Kaid, you have no choice really but to bring the Bandit along if you actually want to effectively defend this walls, because as we discussed earlier on the broadcast, Mute not really in a position to do that anymore. As the round gets started here, we see what Sonic Boom can put together on their second attack.
Quite the interesting lineup on the side of Catlaugh as he brought a Capcan along on the board, and Panic's famous Mozzie. He's got the Roni in hand with 16 bullets, and honestly, that thing is a machine. I tried it out earlier on, and I thought that it's 16 bullets and it has so much recoil, like it's chalked. Hitman with the ugliest skin and attachment combo in the entire game. I hate it. He flexes. I'm glad you said it. I hate it. I made a tweet about it. I was like, dude, y'all just gotta get a fashion designer or something to just help you with this. Arctics, he'll walk right into a Capcan trap, so I guess Seb is completely useless at the moment. I'm not sure if there's C4 holes as well above the attic wall, but if there are, there could be a freebie lined up here for Lioness. I don't think those walls are prepared just yet, though, so she won't be able to toss her C4 over the wall. If you are unaware, well, it doesn't seem like it'll matter. The C4 isn't needed, as it's just one swing here from Lioness, looking for her second, but unfortunately it's 2 trades going in the favor of Sonic Boom, as Hitman is on for his second, with a run out of Small Tower. 3 versus 2 now, and Sonic Boom are on the back foot with only Chihiro and Track and Zack alive. No hard breach alive except for Chihiro, which is just way too risky at this stage, but he has got 2 nades to work with.
He does. I mean, he could try and make a play here off the Maverick if he wanted to go over towards the closet. There's the hole that's been opened up, and immediately counteracting that with the frag grenades. That one eaten by the ADS immediately, gets nowhere and no value. Oh, good kill there from Track and Zack. That's a nasty gun. It hits hard, as clearly demonstrated right there. And now continuing to just kind of grind this angle out. But honestly, Catlaugh just has to hold back. What is this? Sonic Boom! Track and Zack gets in there and gets one, and it's immediately followed up by his teammate, and I don't think that they saw it ending that way on the side of Catlaugh.
I don't know who it was sitting inside of Bolo, but they got smoked. That was a really nice peek there from the Maverick on Chihiro, but it is even now, 1 apiece, and that was quite that I just witnessed the fall of a team right there. Catlaugh really had that attack, or they had that defense for free. And then unfortunately, they just kind of got way too aggressive. They peaked a lot, and, well, I feel like we've been saying this a lot, Corbeck, but whenever you peak a lot, something bad is bound to happen.
Yeah. I mean, you're forcing fights, right? I don't again, I just don't know. I don't know. You don't often see teams that are in that kind of position where you're down the man advantage. You're kind of trapped with a singular attack angle, right? Like realistically, all you can really do is threaten that door unless you're going to completely reposition yourself, akin to what we saw earlier, right? When there was a similar situation from Aerial will Rise where they came into attic, but that was not the case. They were just holding tight on those doors. I don't necessarily know why you challenge it. You know that they're running out of frag grenades, but they did, so it didn't work out in their favor. By the way, I love that frost trap in the corner of games right there in the stereotypical plant spot. It's probably not going to get you any value, but it is annoying. You're going to have to take it into consideration if you want to throw the diffuser down there. Otherwise, though, I mean, setting up the defense at Sonic Boom, I'll be honest with you here, Jazz. I don't think Sonic Boom had really any right to win that round the way that they did, but they can't be unhappy about winning it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they just capitalize off the mistakes of Catlaugh, and as I like to say, it's not luck because, if you're lucky and you're actually, talented, you'll take advantage of that luck, right? It's not just like luck comes to you and you just get, you reap the benefits. I do think that Sonic Boom got lucky off the fact that Catlaugh did swing a lot, but they took advantage of it. They just held their gunnies up and they just waited for Catlaugh to swing into them, and eventually it turned into 2 free frags for them. And everything works out in the end. Sonic Boom going to drone out that Frost Mat as well as just droning out the entirety of Trophy. Seb is on for a peek. These are usually ill-advised here in Spree. I mean, that's a lot of utility to lose if you are Spree, but Spree does not lose those. So, who cares? I don't even know why I'm analyzing this. I don't know why I said, oh, Spree loses this. Spree doesn't lose those. It's a free frag for him. Seb goes down.
He's definitely got the better gun sight. I mean, that's a thing for sure. By the way, you see the annoyance there of Valkyrie on the position of that black eye cam. Spree being watched in every movement that they can possibly make. Track and Zach here did use their hard breach charge there to get the wall into games open. So another threat being delivered on that side as well. As slowly, again, very similar to what we've seen from previous rounds, the noose starts to close, but Panic here fights back just a little bit, takes Spree out, knocks them off the board, and then sort of falls back to a bit of a defensive position here. Relatively tight defense, all things considered, from the members of Catlaugh. They're in a very tight position indeed. A challenge by Lioness, unfortunately, does not go their way. Arctic's challenged again there from the defender behind the shield, but it is not enough. And now, yes, I Cheat is coming up into a position where they can help cover some of these angles as well. Speaking of angles, Chihiro's done a good job here and just moved into Closet to cover these down. And look at that, the kills just falling into the lap of Sonic Boom. And it's all left to Terra here holding on the bomb site. Gets one, gets two. Good play from Terra, but it's just not enough. Too many attackers, not enough defenders.
Goodness me, Terra almost had me by the hearts. I was actually invested in that Shakespearean effort of a clutch. I was ready for that. I was all there. That was theater right in front of my eyes, but unfortunately she wasn't able to get it. So what went wrong there? I think that you could have probably spotted it, Corbeck. I think you even mentioned it. Sonic Boom just had those just handed to them completely for free. Those and all of those kills went in the favor of Sonic Boom for free. And Catlaugh have just been, they've been just aggressive for not a lot of reasons. I don't think that they understand that, with that aggressiveness, they're not really getting much of a reward at the moment. It's just not like they're not getting any map control. Like that swing on a trophy, who cares if you kill someone trophy? I mean, you still have players sitting inside a trophy immediately after that. Like it's an aggressive peak, and usually it's a gamble that's not worth taking. And well, unfortunately, you see what happens whenever you lose that gamble.
It's the second time too that we saw Lioness die on a similar aggressive kind of push like that. It worked out once. I think she did get a kill off of it at one point in time, but you can't expect that to work every time, especially against players of a good caliber. And you saw something similar where there was the long range challenge there from the window, right? Oryx just challenging over like towards Spree. It's just, oh man, I don't know why you feel the need to take those engagements, right? You don't I'm not going to say the defender should completely surrender tempo, right? Because you shouldn't, right? You should always try and maintain at least some control over the initiative. But I think we're getting to the point where they're trying to take the initiative a little too hard, and the resulting backlash is really putting them in a difficult spot. They go back to I think again a relatively standard defensive setup. It's interesting to see the Thunderbird worked in here, but I don't think that's anything particularly too surprising. Those Kona stations can be very valuable, especially for that elbow hold. The impetus here really is on Sonic Boom though, Jazz, because last time they pushed in, they forgot about elbow. They can't make that mistake again.
Yeah, it was the fact that, you know, that Yana just dropped into E-Box without a lot of awareness to what's happening. This is a, I thought that was a disaster waiting to happen on the side of Seb, but Chihiro's going to get himself inside of the shower hallway. There is a player waiting for him in the freezer stairs. Not sure exactly who that is, but in the meantime, Sonic Boom are going to establish themselves going for a small tower over instead of a tower over, because usually what we've been seeing on the side of Catlaugh is there's someone pressuring over by a tower, and this time it is Hitman. Now, the pressure is on to Catlaugh as Arctics gets a kill onto Lioness. Spree, unfortunately, hasn't droned this out, so Hitman is free range right now. Panic will get a refrag onto the Twitch. Not sure where from, and I'm not sure if Hitman has even been droned yet. This could be crucial to how this round goes. If he just sits here patiently and waits for his opportunity to flank into meeting, I mean, this is a setup for disaster if Sonic Boom don't check this.
They don't. They've got nobody there. I think they have no clue. Brutal challenge by Spree. There's that 150 bullets magazine coming in big right there.
That question mark looking a little ironic, isn't it? That question mark looking a little ironic. I'm just kidding.
Just hits the bricks and runs around the corner, because what else are you going to do? Hitman's been spotted out, though. They've heard him. And yes, I cheat, guns him down. Hitman, no, such a good opportunity to drive a dagger right there into the back of Sonic Boom. And unfortunately, it's foiled right there by some good audio cues. Spree here still fighting it out, has a teammate in cover position as well as Chihiro begins to push up through Freezer. No idea the defender's there, and Panic nearly died right there, but is able to win it out with the shotgun. The Mossberg power enough to carry him through a very dangerous situation indeed, as the defenders prepare for their final stand here with about 45 seconds left in the round.
The Alamo inside of the laundry room as Spree's made himself known inside of Freezer. 3 versus 3. Even man count. But Track and Zach is going to take down Seb, and ill-advised peek again. Seb has been doing this just way too much. You're not that good, man. You're manager. Like, get a grip. Anyway, Terra and Panic. It's okay. I'm a social media manager. We're one of the same. Panic.
Okay.
He's got the play to make here. It's against an LMG though. She's got to be careful, and unfortunately, he can't hit his shot. Terra is left all on her own. She's got an FMG in hand. But is that enough to stop Sonic Boom? Plant's going to go down here, so she's going to be forced into a post plant. 45 seconds. That's the timer on the clock for her. She knows one's inside a freezer, and she's going to swing onto that. 2 versus 1. Spree goes down. Terra. Everything is opened around her. She doesn't know where she can look. Swings in and can't win it. Yes, I cheat. On for another, and Sonic Boom will take down 3. We'll take round 3, rather.
Yeah, Sonic Boom looking pretty decisive here on these attacks. This is not particularly great for Catlaugh because, I mean, it is a defender-sided map. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. This is where you want to win. You want to stack up your wins here. So when you move over to the attacking side, you're not at significant of a disadvantage. But it's just not manifesting here for Catlaugh right now. Interesting, by the way. Again, Sonic Boom just completely neglecting that elbow. They just don't care about it. I mean, they played around it that time. They were able to challenge in through Freezer relatively well. And I almost kind of forgot that they even had Terra in that position up until finally it became critical because they were playing such an aggressive hold into Freezer that I don't know if they necessarily needed to do that, especially towards the tail end. But regardless, that is what happened. So moving on now, looking at that basement site again, trying to run it back one more time. You've got the tools in your tool chest. Seb is bringing out the Mozzie here, the Wamai coming into play. I actually feel like we haven't seen that much throwables. Have we? I feel like we haven't.
On the defense side, not really. I think it's the first time we're seeing Wamai being brought out. Linus has been on Valkyrie a lot, obviously, so I guess if you count the cameras. Not a lot of C4. I don't even think a single C4 kill, huh? Or nade kill.
No, not a single grenade kill. Yeah, we just haven't seen a lot of that kind of util being used. So maybe I'm not entirely sure why Wamai comes in, but obviously he can deny some other stuff. It's not like all he does is catch grenades. So he might be able to make some of these other operators have a little bit more difficult time. And even if you actually look at the lineup, now that I do, on the attacker side, only only Yes I Cheat has frag grenades here. So an interesting choice nonetheless, but maybe they've got some play that I just don't necessarily realize here as they start to set up, and a lot of aggression coming in here towards the kind of main lobby as they push themselves in. Chihiro taking the lead here, but it's Panic who tries to engage immediately. Another aggressive swing coming out of the side of Catlaugh.
Now, this is the point where you scale back a lot, right? Like, this is a site where you can hold it down from the basement. You don't have to get aggressive if you are Catlaugh, but unfortunately, every time we've seen them get aggressive, it's been ill-advised. This time around, however, Arctics, who has been the victim of many roam plays, will go down, but not out, as Hitman is now stuck inside a freezer, stuck inside a security, and I'm going to assume that that hatch is completely reinforced off, and as we witness the roof, it's 2 here for Hitman, looking for a third, but he will be traded out. I'd say a pretty fair trade, though. He was stuck inside security, and he still managed to find the kill on to Chihiro. Now is the time where you scale back. If you're Catlaugh, don't give Sonic Boom any more freebies.
Agreed, 100%. I mean, you got lucky on that one. That's a good kill there from Seb. Didn't get lucky on that one. That was just well done. Track and Zach getting taken down right there, but you got a bit lucky up in security. That went your way. Very easily couldn't have done so, but now you're in a 2v4. I mean, if you want to get aggressive, I guess you can, but you got to be prepared to deal with the negative outcome of that. Yes, I Cheat here, pushing down the laundry stairs, does a couple of peeks around the door there, and just continues to push forward. The challenge does come in there from Lioness, who gets smoked, but it's Panic on the other side for the immediate trade, and that leaves everything in the hands of Spree. Spree comes charging down the stairs in true Ash fashion, looking for a target, sees a couple of bullets go swimming by their head there, ripping through the air. Spree still looking, can't find anyone. C4 goes off. Spree now on the retreat. We'll just take their time and count their chickens here, Jazz, before they push from a different angle.
It's got an R4C, which isn't very powerful nowadays. Doesn't really offer you much against, especially against an AUG and a Roni. Even an FMJ could probably outshoot Nash, so looks like it is just going to be an E-box drop. There is one player isolated inside a big tower, so this could be a good time to get your ones and to plant the diffuser, but there is Terra sitting right around the corner. And unfortunately, Spree walks into a cross that is given to Catlaugh, and finally a round goes into their favor. It's 3-2. And Catlaugh, who are on the defense, who look like they have the more advantageous side, they're on a position where they're trying to crawl back, and they're just 1 round away from doing so.
They are in a position where they can crawl back, and they should very much try and pull this up to the 3-3. Unfortunately, at the tail end there, it was just kind of a plethora of targets. It was too many to aim at in that particular scenario, and you saw the aim drift off to the right, and then it had to pull back. It just was never going to really work out. But we go now to kids' dorms again, or dorms main hall, whichever you want to call it. The Mozzie making an appearance. This time it's Terra on the Mozzie. So a little bit of a change. Oh, nope, there's a 6-pick coming out, so it will be Bandit. A relatively standard defensive lineup. The Alibi coming in to add a little bit of vigor here. Switching off of the Valkyrie, interesting enough. I just, maybe they're not getting enough value out of those black eye cameras. It's hard to imagine a situation in which those cameras are giving you value, but the Alibi, I guess, is something they feel a little bit more careful or comfortable with here. And that is, of course, the traditional kind of clone placement, right? Just right on the window. It provides a little bit of sightline disruption. It also provides intel on anybody who's trying to fight their way in. So a good call right there as Hitman places down some ADSs as well. So a lot of effort and utility looks like being directed towards denying that big window there.
Yeah, and honestly, Sonic Boom even just haven't really even been pushing into big window either. I think it's been mainly up white and then into master, but either way, I'm interested to see what Catlaugh are going to do here, because their presence in this site is pretty weak, I would say. It's like Sonic Boom are not afraid to challenge in through trophy, and for some reason Catlaugh will basically give them kills. So I want to see a little bit more of a hardened presence inside of Trophy, inside of Master, so that, you know, Sonic Boom can't get away with these freebies, and they shouldn't be getting away with these freebies. This shouldn't happen, and that, my friend,
is exactly what you're talking about.
That, my friend, is a freebie. Spree will break the barricade. That's like year 1 tactics, and Sonic Boom will secure a freebie.
You guys are weird. The chat. I think they just hunted him down. I think they knew he was there on the drone.
No.
Hitman, that's a good kill from the flank. He might even get a second. He won't. Oh, he does. There you go. Track and Zach brought down, and Hitman saves the day here from what started out as a very ugly round for Catlaugh. Has managed to stabilize just a little bit. Lioness here on the defensive as well. They have an idea of where the diffuser is too. It looks like they not quite in a position to cover it, but they at least know that it's in a general area. Spree here going ahead and opening up this window into the dorm here is going to try and throw a frag grenade up. Nobody in the general area, but still something to think about there. A little bit scary as Yes I Cheat hops on the drone again and starts to provide them a little bit more intelligence so they can kind of, I think, go for round two. They're basically refitting at the moment here, Jazz. And well, it's not much of a refit for Lioness or Hitman as they both drop and everything left in the hands of Terra.
It happened again. They didn't play safe. Catlaugh just gave him freebies, and for what? For no reason. 3 versus 1 now. You've got 3 players completely isolated off from each other here. So Terra, if any chances to be had, it's now. Got Chihiro playing inside of Attic, but Yes I Cheat is going to join his teammate inside of Master. Terra just awaits. Possibly her doom, possibly a freebie. Here comes the C4. 2 are on the door! Spree goes down! There's one inside of Attic. I'm waiting for this Terra clutch to happen. I'm fiending for it, but Chihiro is the one locking this down. Nade is in the hand here. It'll be thrown over to Terra. She's gonna have to swing this, and she does get the down. But unfortunately, the nade lands right into her pocket.
What a nade. Oh no. I think Terra thought it might have fallen to the floor and then it got stuck on a rafter. That's unfortunate. It was a good effort though at the tail end. But again, like you said, you're just giving kills away for free. You're not playing cautious enough. Like you're the defense. You don't have to throw yourself into those attacks, right? Especially when numbers get slower and lower, right? You don't have to do as much. You don't have to work as hard. You can play a little bit more cautious. Well, defense is over for Catlaugh. They'll take over the attacking side now. Meanwhile, Sonic Boom will take their defensive half here as they go to dorms first. They're bringing out the Goyo. They're bringing out the Mute. Standard stuff all around. They've got a Valkyrie in the form of Yes I Cheat as well, who will be providing all that valuable intelligence. And well, I don't know. What do you think here, Jazz? What are the prospects for Catlaugh coming off of 4-2 on the defensive side?
I will say Catlaugh are just running a little bit more of a default strategy whenever it comes to utility. You have flashbangs, you have 3 sets of nades, the works. And I think that, they're going to be playing around that utility a little bit more effectively than Sonic Boom have. But Sonic Boom at the same time, we're just kind of playing around the fact that Catlaugh just swung so much. The ego peaked a lot, and unfortunately it didn't work out into their favor. And we saw it happen a lot of the times. Not even just, I think it affected them the most on this upstairs site, but it also happened downstairs. And I think that, now that Catlaugh have the attack and they have players like Panic and Hitman, they know how their utility is going to be used. And they're going to be using 3 sets of nades. You got 2 sets of burn. Assuming Seb has, so you have 2 sets of burn, 3 sets of nades. Like, this is standard stuff here. What isn't, though, is Spree is on the garage door. This is a really uncommon spawn peak nowadays. Oh, Spree! No, man! You can't be question marking and then whiff like that! What is that? No! Oh my goodness. That was rough.
He had him too. He had him dead to rights.
I really felt like I was watching a horse getting put down. That was horrible. That was horrible. It's okay. It happens. But Yes I Cheat. Well, he secures a refrag. Seb is for some reason overextended into a trophy peak. And it's netted him a free certificate to hell.
Cool. Gosh, that's dark. I sure hope not for his sake, but yeah, it might be.
They got Applebee's over there. It's fine.
Well, yeah. Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. Actually, and the McDonald's ice cream machine is always broken too. It's a terrible place to be. Hitman here, sniping through the window, swings on the door. It's Artix though who secures the kill into Panic. Lioness though immediately getting one back in with the frag grenade as Lioness begins the push here through Attic. So consolidating their attacking position now in the 3v2. It's not a bad spot to be necessarily for the attackers. It's Track and Zach and Artix who are left, and they have some good angles they can cover right here. But the Attic has kind of been the weak point of defenders here on Oregon so far, and it looks like it's setting up to be again. That said, Hitman is down, so this Attic better be the weak point.
It's just Linus and Terra sitting inside of Attic and Track and Zach. I mean, he has a shotgun, and I'm assuming that Artix is playing the cross, and that would be correct. They have those two locked down. All you're waiting for at this point is an ill-advised peek from one of the two defenders, and there you go. You have your round. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen just yet. Linus exchanging bullets here with Artix, who is currently the one that is lower on the HP. 50 seconds. Unfortunately, that's a slow peek, but it does work out. The shotgun swing is going to be prompted here from Track and Zach. He'll swing out, but unfortunately, he'll aim towards the player that's really far away, and Lioness shoots Artix just in time. It is going to be another round here for the attacking side of Catlaugh. We have a 4-3 game.
Was generous there of Track and Zach to let him know that he was coming by knifing the wall.
I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know either, but it certainly gave away the ghost. I mean, if they didn't know that he was going to swing out from there with a shotgun, they certainly did after he gave him a nice advanced warning system. Still a good round there for Catlaugh. They were able to consolidate. It did look like it could have been a bit grim there for a second, but they reeled it right back in. And it's not going to slow Sonic Boom down, though. They're going to go right back onto Dorms. They're bringing the exact same sort of stuff that they had last time. No hesitation at all from them. Meanwhile, on the other side, I mean, it's very similar again for them as well. Yeah, you wouldn't expect a ton of necessarily strategic or tactical variety here on this Oregon map. I do want to note, though, just how critical the Attic has been for all of these attackers that we've seen tonight. Attic has been the major weak point, and I don't necessarily know that that's always the case. So good on these teams for, I think, finding that bit of defensive kind of issue they can exploit and then just fully going after it, because it really has been where, I don't know, I wish I had a statistic. I should really go back. I don't think I have the notes for it, Jazz, but it feels like Attic has been the key to an offensive win on this bomb site every time we've seen it so far in these quals.
I think it's Attic whenever you least expect it, right? Like, you have a push established inside a trophy, and then boom, someone just swings you an Attic and you're gone for it. And there's a really big reason for that, and actually comes down to the depth of the angles that you'd be holding, because a lot of the times whenever someone swings Attic, they're almost always in the advantage, except if someone is swinging inside of the kids' dorms as well as the Attic door. That's about the only time that you really have an attacker disadvantage on that swing, from experience and from watching it happen. And that's usually why, you know, Attic will be so favored towards the attack, because, well, if you have somebody inside a trophy, who the heck is going to swing Attic door? So that's kind of the pattern I've always observed. You know, obviously that's very subjective, so I'm not really sure if it's true, but Seb is all the way in the basement. I don't know why Seb is in the basement. As a matter of fact, I don't know why Spree is in the basement. But it's a trade here as Lioness goes down. And we're now even on those sides.
Weirdos. Really, it does seem like Catlaugh is struggling with some of the positional choices that are being made by Sonic Boom. Or benefiting from them in the case of stabbing Spree to death in the basement, but one or the other. Unfortunate, though, to lose Lioness early on. I mean, we talked about it before, I think, on Oregon. It's a shame when your Finka goes down first, because Finka is just such a strong operator right now that you kind of hate to lose it. Seb is lit up there by Yes I Cheat, who has been playing quite well across this match. 9 and 5 on the board is the top frag for Sonic Boom. Terra, meanwhile, moving in through the kitchen, could run into some unexpected trouble because there's a Malusi waiting down there. Nearly gets Artix. Artix might challenge again, though, as Terra here is underneath the bomb site with frag grenades, so in a position where they could actually do a little bit of hurt if they have the time and wherewithal to throw them, and they do not. Yes I Cheat gets Hitman on the top deck.
This is just such a game of peaks. I don't know why everyone is peeking everything, or they feel the need to just peek every single angle that there's no reason for it. There's nothing that Hitman could have benefited from had he gotten that kill, because Terra's not currently in a position to capitalize on it. She's dead. It's just going to be Panic on for 2, looking for possibly a third, swinging the guy away. There's 2 white. It's 3 for Panic. He doesn't know where the last one is, though. Track and Zach has a shotgun and a C4 to work with. C4 will be ripped and Panic will survive. He knows where he is, and Track and Zach puts a stake into the heart of Panic and all the fans of Catlaugh, which are few and far in between. Anyway, it's another round there from Sonic Boom. 5-3 for them. Heartbreak. Almost a clutch from Panic.
Ooh, nerves of steel for both of them right there, though. Track and Zach holding on right there. It's a scary prospect to swing around that corner with an SMG 11 when you know the LMGE is waiting for you on the other side. But Panic doing really well in that situation, all alone there, making the most out of their gun to try and make that work. Unfortunately, it will be Sonic Boom that emerges on top here as we finally go down to Laundry and Supply. The Legion swap going over to a Jaeger should surprise anyone, really. Makes much more sense, and you are seeing the double whammy being applied here as you've got all of the kind of util denial there between the two of them, or throwable denial, whatever you want to call it. Interesting as well, I think we saw the Jackal mentioned there, and it did come through, so Terra will be on the Jackal here. I don't know about the Jackal on this particular one, because I feel like there's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw too much roaming coming out of Sonic Boom. So I'm not exactly sure what you're going to track, all things considered.
I'm really not sure why the Jackal has been brought up. I mean, I guess it's just because so many people have just been solo roaming. I mean, yeah, sure, I guess it makes sense. But it's like,
they have been upset by the weird positioning, right? So maybe that's something to do with it.
Very upset by the weird positioning. But I mean, I don't know. It really doesn't seem like it's granted either team much benefits at the moment, because it's kind of just intel that you already have. In most cases, the Jackal just kind of tells you what you already know. So it's been unsuccessful so far on this trek for Jackal. But maybe the campaign for all Jackal mains out there is about to be pushed by Terra. Drone's going to come on in here for Tower. It seems like Tower is going to be the position to clear. LMGs are just ringing out upstairs as you have one on the side of Panic. Spree, a very aggressive player. I won't mention his results in some cases. He's going to try and back off here into Tower, which is the wise move, and Track and Zach will take down Seb, who has just been entryed so many times at this point you can't even count. But Arctics will also go down. Two players that have just had trouble staying alive as the first kill. Both go down on the side of each team. I've been seeing Seb, just cropping up on the death screen a lot on those initial engagements, as well as Arctic. So, no surprise to see them both down.
Interesting again, the Finca going down very early, denying them those frag grenades as well. Not that they would have necessarily been a huge advantage considering the operators that are sitting on the side of Sonic Boom, but something that they probably would like back if they could get it. The X-Kairos there being used to open up E-Box hatch again as, Catlaugh is building towards the attack. Lioness here, very aggressive positioning on the top of basement stairs coming down from Tower. Needs to be careful or you'll lose your head. Spree fires a couple of shots down range. Can't quite find Lioness. It's actually Panic R6 who takes Spree down. Good play off the cross angle there by Panic. You like to see it as Hitman pushes over towards E-Box now and considers dropping the hatch. Instead, they'll hop on the drone really quick. Elbow still needs to be forced out here as those smokes are deployed one after another just to slow this attack down. But Hitman is in. The Fox is in the hen house. Tries to get a kill here on the rotate coming out. Does so. Pulls out the bearing on the second side and goes for another one. Won't find it. A really brutal series of engagements right here as Chihiro is brought down. And it's all in the hands of Yes, I Cheat.
I'm not sure if he has a C4. He does. Could launch it over E-Box. I think that's too deep, and Lioness will be able to get the plant down. Like you said, SMG-11s. Those can win gunfights, but I don't think they can win multiple at once. Gonna swing over to the guy inside of Pillar, and unfortunately it's not gonna net him anything, as he is just locked inside of Laundry Room. Both Panic and Terra just holding their positions. Lioness kind of being a last line of defense inside of Big Tower as Yes, I Cheat just continues to have his HP completely chipped away. It seems like it's all for naught here as 13 seconds are left. A beautiful shot there onto Panic, possibly trying to look for the second, but the time has reached past its mark. Diffuser will not go away, and the round will go to Catlaugh.
Attackers win.
Really nice kill, though, when it came around the corner down there by Pillar. That was really good. Just credit where credit is due. It looks super nice. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to repeat it twice, so they do not get the win right there. But yeah, it was good play. It was just genuinely good play by Catlaugh, really forcing, working the angles, forcing them back, and then knowing when to push, right, when to apply pressure, which is something that we saw Aerial Arise actually struggle a little bit with when we watched this map earlier. Not so that time there. The drop in was very effective at cutting off the rotate. Hitman did exactly what they needed to do, caused, I think, enough kind of confusion and panic too in the side of the defenders that they really were discombobulated when push came to shove. So a good round from Catlaugh. They need to do something like that again, and they can put this up to 5-5, and they might even be staring down the barrel of being able to either win this one or put it into overtime. I think it's I don't want to say it's likely, but I think it's definitely possible for them to put it, you know, into a winning position here if they can just pick up 2 more rounds.
Like I said, they are on the defense. This should be, you know, the more comfortable side. Naturally, Siege just feels like a defender-sided game, although the meta has shifted to tell a different story. But at the same time, Corbeck, there is one thing that I kind of have just been noticing from both squads. This relentless, this ruthless, this out-of-nowhere aggressiveness. What is the cause of all this? I feel like I'm watching a Kingsman movie. Like the first one, you know, the one where like everyone gets a chip implanted in their head and all the phones go berserk and everyone just goes crazy and starts killing each other. That's what I feel like is happening. Like this is the church scene, except Terra is the what was Galahad. Terra's Galahad, and everyone else is, you know. So there's just so much going on. It's so wild, and usually whenever you get aggressive, it never really tends to favor your defenders. Because defenders have something to lose. They have map control to lose. On the side of the attack, they only have stuff to gain. Those kills give them map control. Even if it's a rough trade, you're able to gain some sort of mileage and some sort of presence. Can't really do that on the side of the defense unless those attackers are already established. And the aggression that we've been seeing is so early that the attackers don't really have a presence whenever defenders decide to peek.
It's true. Like I said earlier, it's a matter of initiative, right? You never want to completely surrender the initiative, but as the defender, you're almost able to set the tempo by the speed at which you want to play. And if you get overly aggressive like that and you get punished, it's bad form. Track and Zach there, by the way, I think might have lost the shield on elbow. Not enough ADS to slow it down. No, yes, he did, but he's still got a smoke out there, so slows it down just a little bit. Look, we're talking about it. Here's Chihiro. He's about to fight his way up the stairs, and he's even maybe got the barbed wire to cause a little bit of trouble as well. Panic is right there. The two of them just stare at each other down around this tiny little bit of concrete, and it's Lioness who gets the initial kill, tracking Zach on that smoke. And there's the challenge. It works out in Chihiro's favor, and that's bad, Jazz, because that just reaffirms that this is a good idea. And Spree does the same thing. He's fighting on the stairs again.
Caster's Curse as well. Chihiro, hit your shots, baby. There it is. Another one goes down here. That's Hitman. And Terra and Lioness are now split up. They have nothing to work with but their weapons. And we've seen Terra secure quite a bit of frags. She's been the one left in the clutches, and she's almost inched it away. Maybe this is her time. Maybe I am just breathing in copium here. Sonic Boom are looking to end the run of Catlaugh. Lioness will recover the diffuser. That's one step into this attack, but what do you do from here? I mean, there's so much utility left. You have to keep in mind, you have Malusi Wubwubs still up. You have 2 C4s on the side of Sonic Boom.
Oh, well, is this what you do? You just try to pick them apart piece by piece, I guess. They've reassembled here, and yes, I cheat just annihilates Terra as it comes around the corner of the laundry room. And it's all down the Lioness right now, hoping not to get washed here along with the clothes. Backing up the stairs there, reloads the spear, the tip of which might be useful in this situation. No, unfortunately, it's not to be. Shoots the C4. That's a flash, if nothing else. Comes around the corner, challenges again. Lioness picks up the kill on Yes I Cheat, but they can't get the next one. They're reloading. They'll bring themselves back to their feet with the Finkastim, but they're trapped behind the laundry machine. It's Chihiro again, the hero of this round, picking up yet another kill.
That was, it was close, but unfortunately, Sonic Boom's aggression was not allotted for on the side of Catlaugh, and I think we were proven wrong, Corbeck, as tends to happen to us casters. We just say something and then the opposite always happens. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, the aggression was definitely there for Sonic Boom, and I don't think Catlaugh responded properly. There's no other way to really put this. This has just been
you're right.
Such an aggressive game between both teams. Like, what do you even do in this scenario? Like, do you just wait? Like, that's what we saw both ends. Like, what happens if you fight aggression with aggression? Well, that happened to Tara, and she kind of died. And then we saw what happens if you fight aggression with passiveness. That's what happened to Panic. He just waited, and unfortunately, he died. Like, there's got to be another way around this. Like, Catlaugh just needs to maybe focus a little bit more on map control. Maybe punishing this aggressiveness. It's not happening because they just can't. They cannot get refrags. There is no refrag capability on the side of Catlaugh because their map control establishment is not very well rounded at the moment. You know, whenever that player, those two players actually, I believe it was both Arctics and Chihiro, were both playing bottom tower stairs, there was no one challenging them from E-Box. There was no one challenging them from bunker. It was just that one player sitting on tower stairs, basically stuck on an island, waiting for something to happen. And unfortunately, whenever it happened, well, it didn't go in their favor. So definitely needs to be a little bit more established on the side of Catlaugh here. Maybe a little bit more map control will definitely benefit them. And I mean, the utility usage. We saw one C4 kill, and that was on the side of Lioness on defense. And that's the only piece of utility that has killed a person in this entire game.
It's very much they've been doing it on the back of the guns. Like, it's been a lot of gunplay, and I think that both feeds into and also is a result of this aggression. Is they're not playing slowly enough or cautious enough. I mean, look at the aggression coming out of Arctics right now. He's challenging right down the big doors, trying to get a kill right there, but they're not playing slowly enough or calculated enough necessarily to use their util. And Spree here picks up a kill on what I'm going to go ahead and imagine was probably something quite aggressive. Lioness here trying to secure big tower so that they can kind of push in through there, and that's justified that you put that down because Arctics is in the area, right? Is not been kind of dissuaded from trying to push this very aggressive positioning. Tara now watching very carefully in that position as Chihiro getting shot at on the top deck. Arctics now might try for the play. I don't think they have any idea that the air jabs have been put down there, though, so that could be a rather rude surprise. Speaking of rude surprises, Hitman is about to blow open this wall. There's going to be Track and Zack with a shotgun waiting on the other side of it. Hitman now pushing up into Trophy, thinking about things. Lioness trying again to engage this long-range gunfight through a tiny little slit in the wall. It's not exactly champagne play right there, but it's perhaps doing the job.
Talked about that shotgun sitting next to that wall. That is fully in the control of Track and Zack. But this swing might be ill-advised. This one onto Panic. And like you said, no punishment for that. Arctics is on Hitman as well. Tara and Lioness. The last two remaining here for the side of Catlaugh. Your two Project Eris experienced players. And unfortunately, one of them will fall through the hatch. Minute left. 5 versus 2. And Catlaugh are mating. They're just waiting for this round to come to an end. They are on the back foot, and unfortunately, Track and Zack is just holding a deep angle, and Arctics is onto Tara. It'll be a flawless round to conclude not only our CCL Qual cast, but Catlaugh's CCL Qual run, as it is going to be. Sonic Boom to secure their victory, and I believe secure themselves into CCL Season 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I do believe you are correct. Yeah, they are in position now where they qualify, so that's good for them. And I mean, they definitely earned it in that match. 12 and 11 at the top of the board. Yes, I cheat and Arctics, respectively. A good round from them at the tail end as well to kind of secure it. I mean, the guts, I want to use another word, but I don't think it's broadcast appropriate, but the pure guts on Track and Zack right there to kind of push out of the closet breach and be like, yeah, nobody's watching it. Might as well go and pick up some kills. And it worked to perfection. He couldn't have asked for anything better. It was a perfect play, exactly what they needed there to secure up the round. So just like you said, crazy aggressive, a lot of taking advantage of opportunities, very entertaining.
Yeah. Congratulations to Sonic Boom. They will be going on to Season 2. And I mean, congratulations. I definitely didn't expect this. I haven't heard of these compatriots before. But it seems like they deserved it. I think that victory shows us why. Definitely a large diversity of teams coming together for this CCL season. You got established teams like Mystic Academy, like Aerial Arise. And then you got teams that are making a name for themselves right now. That was Sonic Boom in our very own eyes, making a name for themselves and securing their victory against Catlaugh. They had to do it through the losers bracket. It wasn't easy, but they got the job done. Congrats to them. They deserve it. 7-4 on Oregon. And that's the end of our games for tonight.
It is
Sad.
the end
It's
of our
good.
games for tonight. Yeah, it's sad, but there'll be more exciting, qualifiers and stuff ahead. I don't know if we know who the other team to qualify was. I think it was Newt Neuters was playing against I don't know who, but we'll find that out. I'm sure it'll be posted somewhere.
Outlast. They're against Outlast right now, and Newt Neuters are 5-3.
Okay, well, might be Newt Neuters going through, might be Outlast, but for sure we can confirm Mystic Academy, Aerial Arise, and then of course Sonic Boom, who you just saw. But like Jazz said, that does do it for the broadcast here today. Thank you so much for tuning into this first qualifier here by CCL. Thank you to our producer and our observers as well for handling an interesting series of matches. I've been Korvac, this has been Jazz alongside me, and from all of us at CCL, thank you for watching and have a nice evening.